While I was browsing Bilibili for game updates, I came across a video discussing a Reddit post. The question it raised was, I wonder why we don't have other protagonists as effective as Kiana in Hoyo games. Of course, this is a matter of personal opinion, and opinions will always differ, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. I also don't want to judge other main characters too harshly, since many of their stories haven't concluded or reached a turning point comparable to Kiana's. That said, after reading through the comments, one key difference stood out to me: self-insert design. There's nothing inherently wrong with self-insert protagonists, since it's the narration that ultimately defines and shapes a character. But Kiana is different. She isn't meant to be us. Instead, she feels like a daughter we watch grow up. Kiana is not a descender who exists above the laws of the universe. She isn't a trailblazer born with a Stellaron and effortlessly drawing the gaze of an Aeon. She isn't a Phaethon gifted with a special eye that can cure ether corruption. Kiana begins as almost nothing. She is a clone, created as a vessel under the codename K423, carrying destruction within her. Her life begins as an experiment, tightly controlled by Otto, with no real agency of her own. Yes, she was created using spliced genes from Siren and the real Kiana, a daughter of the Shariak and Kaslana lineages. But she starts at the very bottom, a B-rank Valkyrie in Schicksal, struggling with training, exams, and her own immaturity. Then, everything changes when the Herrscher within her awakens, bringing disaster to the world and people around her, ultimately causing the death of her beloved teacher, Himeko. This moment becomes the most impactful event in Kiana's life, one that permanently scars her. Overwhelmed by guilt and self-blame, Kiana leaves her friends behind and wanders alone for months. She was vulnerable, mentally and morally crushed, standing on the verge of giving up entirely. Yet even during that lonely journey, the son she lost never fully disappears. Hope persists, fragile but real. And so far, we haven't seen this level of sustained inner struggle portrayed in other Hoyoverse main characters. Kiana's growth is not just about gaining power, it is about acceptance. Her journey is not only about fighting Honkai, but about defining herself as a human being, separate from her origins and the role forced upon her. There is a deep sense of fulfillment in watching her grow from a reckless, silly girl into someone far more mature, though still unmistakably Kiana. She changes without losing who she is. Another contributing factor is the way the story is structured. Honkai Impact prioritizes character growth, with the battlesuit system refining and supporting that approach, whereas the other games focus more on world building. This is why I view the Traveler's lore in Genshin as that of an observer rather than a central agent. Anyway, that is what makes Kiana feel so special to me. This explanation is, of course, very simplified and doesn't fully do justice to her character or her story. But I wanted to share why, among Hoyoverse protagonists, Kiana stands out so strongly in my eyes.
Kiana， 你还在等什么？姬子老师，我不会再逃避了。